Israeli forces with bulldozers and jeeps entered the camp under the cover of darkness. This has become a routine. And this is the usual aftermath. Wreckage and rubble, asphalt roads plowed down to the dirt. Once the damage is repaired, there's another raid, and it's the same thing all over again. For almost 2 years, a low-intensity war has been raging in the occupied West Bank. Residents here in Jenin's refugee camp say that there have been more than 30 Israeli military incursions since August of this year. The camp is home to militants who Israel has accused of involvement in attacks on Israelis. But here, those whom Israel calls terrorists are seen as fighters against a decades-long military occupation. Wadia Mkaskas is not a fighter. He works for the local government. This is the kids' room. But last week, Israeli soldiers took over his home during yet another raid. As he shows me around, the remains of what was a family's life crunch under our shoes. Brutal is how Wadia sums up the soldiers' behavior. Scars of battles past pockmark the camp's walls, debris on almost every corner. Sami shows me spent cartridges on the floor of her house, saying Israeli troops used this room to fire down into the street. They took my husband, bound his hands, and pushed him outside in the cold, she says. They kept him there from 6 in the evening until 5 in the morning. Eventually, the soldiers let him go, but took away her recently married son after ransacking his bedroom, searching for weapons. 18-year-old Mahmoud Abul Heji was shot last Thursday evening, shot through his bedroom window. His mother, Khitam, holding a blood-stained towel, recounts how Israeli soldiers wouldn't allow medics to take him to hospital. I was sure we were going to the hospital, she says. We went downstairs. A second officer was there and made the medics put the stretcher down. Mahmoud bled to death in front of his home. Tuesday night, Israeli forces raided the camp again, sparking gun battles with militants. And in the process, Israeli troops killed at least 4 people, including this 8-year-old boy. And then they left.
And Ben Wiedemann joins us now. And Ben, as we've been reporting, and had been reporting at the beginning of this year on the show, the violence that we have been seeing in the West Bank predates the October the 7th attack. I mean, we've seen over 260 Palestinians, it seems, detained in the West Bank since Friday 24th. Now, that is according to the Palestinian Society here, Prisoner Society. Why are more Palestinians being detained?
Well, basically, I mean, it really, since the 7th of October, you've seen this great upsurge. Now, of course, I think part of it is the Israelis are nervous about the situation in the West Bank. Let's keep in mind that actually the situation around Gaza, except for a flare-up back in May of this year, has been rarely stable. But what we've seen is increasingly the Israeli government has been focusing on the West Bank. We have, extremist ministers in the Israeli government who are pushing the idea of expanding settlements, empowering the settlers, more handing out weapons to them. So certainly what we're seeing is that there's more unrest among the Palestinians who aren't happy with this. But more than that, I think the Israelis see the situation in the West Bank and are trying to sort of keep the natives under control, so to speak, but increasingly as they watch what's going on in Gaza. And they have been experiencing in recent years this upsurge in settlement activity and settler violence, keeping in mind how many have been killed since the beginning of the war in Gaza, almost 250. It's a powder keg, and even American officials have warned the Israelis that they have to bring the settlers under control, and perhaps the conditions for money given to Israel have to be increased because of the trouble that can be posed by the current Israeli policy in the West Bank.
You say it's a powder keg. I mean, you know the region, you know the West Bank better than most journalists, I think it's fair to say. So I'm keen to get your sense, Ben, of what the mood is like. We're seeing, we've seen the past several days, Palestinians being released, a jubilant celebration. Someone can't even celebrate outside, of course. That's what we've been hearing. But if this truce is not extended and we go back to Israel trying to break the back of Hamas. We've heard from the IDF in the last few moments saying they're preparing ourselves for continuing of this fighting. If that continues, what could change in the West Bank?
Well, I think if the fighting resumes in Gaza and we see the kind of bloodshed, the sort of mass killing of civilians in Gaza, the situation could become even more unstable. Keep in mind that it's not the Palestinian Authority backed by the United States and the European Union and led by Mahmoud Abbas that's winning the freedom of these Palestinian prisoners and detainees. It's Hamas. And by and large, the Palestinian Authority is looked upon by most Palestinians in the West Bank as corrupt and incapable and powerless when it comes to dealing with the Israelis. That's why, for instance, Jenin, which technically is under Palestinian Authority control, the Israelis, every time they go into that city, they drive right in. The Palestinian police, who I saw yesterday when I went to Jenin, disappear. They put up no resistance. So the structure, the political structure that was established by the Oslo Accord, sponsored by the United States, establishing the Palestinian Authority, that's eroding as the war in Gaza continues, if it continues, and it probably will continue in the coming days. So politically, the head at the top of the Palestinian Authority is not particularly stable.